Welcome to MI Radio's Myanmar Today. I'm Melody, and here are today's reports. 2020 general election, preparedness and error corrections are to be done. Government taking loan for the development of MSME sectors. Hluttaw Representatives discuss on sign-in RCEP agreement. Myanmar Railways is providing commuters with smooth and secure rail transport. Before we get to the reports, let's take a look at the featured local news for today. President U Myint graced the opening ceremony of the new office building of Anti-Corruption Commission in Naypyidaw on Wednesday. At the occasion, President U Myint opened the signboard of the office building by pressing the button and sprinkled scented water with the sprigs of eugenia on it together with the union ministers. Afterwards, President U Myint delivered the opening speech, saying that he encourages the Commission's efforts to implement the National Anti-Corruption Strategic Plan for the next government term, and he believes that the opening of new office building of Anti-Corruption Commission will be a milestone in the history. The president added that in 2019, the office buildings of Anti-Corruption Commission were opened in Yangon and Mandalay region and implemented the commission's physical appearance and the needs of human resources. During this year, office branches are already permitted to open at Molamyain of Mon State and Daunji of Shan State. Afterwards, the commission chairman explained the implementation processes of the commission. Vice President U Myint Sway, in his capacity as chairman of National Science, Technology and Innovation Council, presided over the council meeting on Wednesday, calling for the implementation of objectives in the Science, Technology and Innovation Law. He said that Myanmar is cooperating with the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, UNESCAP, for drafting the national level policies and frameworks in implementing the works of science, technology, and innovation. As Myanmar is a UN member country and a partner of Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, the country is responsible for practicing STI norms and STI outlooks issued by the OECD annually. The Vice President also advised the relevant ministries to adopt national-level STI policies and implementing strategies for these policies aimed for national development in line with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, such as Goal 4, Quality Education, Goal 5, Gender Equality, Goal 9, Industry, Innovation and Infrastructure, Goal 17, Partnerships for the Goals. He also suggested encouraging greater creativity and innovation, which will contribute to the development of the modern economy, in line with Strategy 7 and Goal 3 of Pillar 2 in the Myanmar Sustainable Development Plan. He continued to discuss the needs to draw work plans, visions, and goals to carry out the ASEAN Plan of Action on Science, Technology, and Innovation for the emergence of National STI Action Plan and Implementation Plan. Union Minister for International Cooperation U Jo then discussed the need to form relevant work committees to encourage science, technology, and innovations to stay abreast of Fourth Industrial Revolution or Industry 4.0. Union Minister for Natural Resources and Environmental Conservation, U Oh Win, discussed the formation of the committees on environmental conservation and participation of experts. Union Minister for Health and Sports, Dr. Myen Tway, advised coordination among relevant committees for developing the national research policy. Totaling 7 Ayeyarwady dolphins have been killed within 7 months from January to July of 2020. Hluttaw, in charge of Ayeyarwady Dolphin Conservation Unit, said 2 of them are assumed to be dead or ripe in age. No reason can be identified for one, and 4 were killed by the electroshock fission. He said according to the data analysis, 6 dead out of 76 dolphins found in 2018. 3 dead of 72 dolphins found in 2019, 7 dead of 79 dolphins found in 2020. The Ayeyarwady Dolphin Survey trip this year were participated by the responsible officials of Fisheries Department from Mandalay and Sagaing regions and Kachin State. Officials concerned from the Department of Environmental Conservation and Endangered Aqua Species Protection, officials from Myanmar Maritime Police Force, and Wildlife Conservation Society. And I believe it's time now for our first report. State Councillor Daw Aung San Suu Kyi at a video conferencing had discussions about preparedness and current situations for 2020 general election. It is mentioned that the errors found in the already released voters list are to be reviewed and corrected, and the responsible organizations are considering a lot about the health safety as well.
State Councillor Daw Aung San Suu Kyi hosted a regular video conferencing on Wednesday, during which the necessary procedures and challenges for 2020 general election were mentioned. The participants were U Thein Sui, Union Minister for Labour, Immigration and Population, U Myin Nai, Member of Union Election Commission, and U That Aw, Deputy Director General of General Administration Department. The 2020 general election is to be held in November, and the voters' list have already been released from 25th of July to 7th of August. However, the complaints were lodged by the citizens concerning the errors found in the list. Concerning this issue, State Councillor Daw Aung San Suu Kyi asked the authorized persons the reasons and current situations.
For ensuring the citizens to be able to vote, it is necessary to have the correct voters list. I have heard that there are many errors in the voters list released during these 2 weeks. Every citizen who is over 18 years old has the right to vote. This is not just the right, this is the responsibility of the citizens. To be able to do so, the responsible organizations have to cooperate and assist.
The voters' counting system is based on ground-level enumeration instead of household list. In doing so, errors were found, such as being left out from the list, wrong personal data, and non-rightful persons included in the list.
This is the first time of releasing the voters list, and based on the errors and feedback of the citizens, we are to release more accurate list in October. We have organized responsible working groups to review the list, to perform field study, and to provide service for the citizens. Errors we have here are because of the weakness of staff filling the data manually and technically. We are to review and correct them.
According to the Union Election Commission, about 6.6 million people have come and checked the voters list. For the health safety issues, the people coming to the polling stations must stay at a distance of 6 feet apart, and the gloves and hand sanitizers will be provided. Regarding these preparedness, the State Councillor added the comment that whether the gloves can disturb in stamping on ballots, and to consider the time slot of polling since it will take longer because of social distancing.
We, the General Administration Department, are serving as the member in Union Election Commission and Subcommission at state, region, township, and ward levels in order to organize 2020 general elections successfully. For any problems with the voter list or election procedures, the citizen can contact with the staff of General Administration Office, and we are willing to assist them.
The State Councillor said that the General Administration Department plays an important role in the election procedures, and it has to try to win the trust of the citizens.
The Ministry of Labour, Immigration and Population, Union Election Commission, and the General Administration Department are responsible for producing accurate voters lists and to keep the citizens safe on the day of voting. We have to successfully and safely organize the general election, despite it is the period of COVID-19 outbreak, for the right and duty of our citizens and the image of our country. We want to prove that our citizens are responsible, disciplined, and loyal to the country.
From 2016 to July of 2020, 5.72 million national registration cards were issued out. A total of 143,962 overseas returnees have arrived back in the country, and the Union Minister for Labor, Immigration and Population said that they are handling the overseas returnees to be able to vote. Myanmar citizens in the foreign countries can contact the embassies, according to the Union Minister. News reported by Dora Susan from Myanmar International Radio.
That's the report on 2020 general election preparedness, and error corrections are to be done. For the development of MSME sector in Myanmar, the government is planning to take loan from JICA, where the enterprises affected by the impacts of COVID-19 will be supported. This is the third time the government is taking loan for the development of MSME sector, knowing the importance of this sector in the country. Willinson has the full report.
Variety of enterprises is the main driving force of socio-economic growth in the country, which includes micro, small, and medium enterprises. It is necessary to carry out systematically with the short-term and long-term visions. As SMEs are the main driving forces of the economy of the nation, the government is also keen to bring development to this sector by providing necessary support to it. Therefore, the government is planning to take a loan of 15 billion yen from JICA for the development of SMEs in the country. The SMEs include any type of industry or services, retail and wholesale, logistic businesses, agriculture, education, healthcare, electricity, transportation, energy, infrastructure, tourism, and so on. On the matter of taking loan from JICA, which is 15 billion yen, Mawin, the Deputy Minister for the Ministry of Planning, Finance and Industry spoke at Hluttaw on 5th of August, and he said,
For the first phase of the project for the development of MSMEs, we had taken ODA loan from JICA in 2015 and 2016 fiscal year, which was 5.033 billion yen or 60.241 billion chats. With the first phase of the project till June 2020, we have given loan to 435 business persons from the MSME sector. The amount of loan is 93.288 billion chats. As it has been about 5 years since the first phase of the project was initiated, we have loaned out all the money to the enterprises in Myanmar, although we have about 60 billion chats. The reason we have more amount of loan given out than the initial amount of loan is some of the enterprises have repaid back the loan, which makes we have more capital than the actual amount of the loan. As we have policy of one customer, one chance, we don't give loan to the enterprises who have already taken the loan, and this is called credit creation in banking. 14.949 billion yen or 196.979 billion chats was also taken from JICA as a loan for the second phase project, which was taken in 2018, where 772 of the enterprises were given the loan with this loan, and the amount of loan given to them is 129.25 billion chats in total.
According to the report by the Ministry of Planning, Finance and Industry, some of the main challenges in giving loan to enterprises are, according to the terms and conditions of JICA, 80% of loan, which is called fixed capital, must be spent, and another 20% must be spent as working capital. And when it comes to giving loans to MSMEs, many of enterprises are not suitable with these terms and conditions, and MSMEs want more of working capital where there will be more of profit. And another challenge is there is a limited resource with insurance, which make loan a hard choice for many MSMEs as they don't want to risk business without insurance. And there is also a weak point from MSMEs in keeping the cash flow systematically. Speaking further on this, Mawin said,
MSME များထံမှန်မှန်ကန်ကန်နဲ့မြန်မြန်ဆန်ဆန်ရောက်ရှိရေး COVID-19 ကြောင့်ထိခိုက်တဲ့လုပ်ငန်းများကိုဦးစားပေးရေးတိုင်းဒေသကြီးပြည်နယ်အနှံ့အပြားရောက်ရှိရေးတို့ကိုကြက်မှတ်ဆောင်ရွက်မည်ဖြစ်ကြောင်း
In this third phase project, we want to use the loan in supporting the enterprises affected by the impacts of COVID-19, where there will be a strict case study on how the enterprises are affected. We will make sure that this loan reaches out to the businesses mostly affected by COVID-19 and it reaches the enterprises across the country.
There are registered MSMEs, 34,382 enterprises in Myanmar, according to the report. Some of the areas which are given priority in giving loan include construction, food, dairy, fisheries, fertilizer-related enterprises, plastic-related enterprises, textile, rubber production, handcrafts, tourism, media and communication enterprises, and electrification of rural areas. The loan of 15 billion yen from JICA was approved by Hluttaw for the development of MSMEs.
That's the report on government taking loan for the development of MSME sectors. The second Hluttaw's 17th regular session held the 7th-day meeting in Naypyidaw on the 29th of July. Following the session, representatives of Hluttaw discussed to be able to participate and sign in the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement.
The second Hluttaw's 17th regular session held the 7th-day meeting in Naypyidaw on 5th August. Following the session, representatives of Hluttaw discussed to be able to participate and sign in the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership RCEP agreement. The Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership RCEP is a proposed trade agreement in the Indo-Pacific region between 10 members of ASEAN and 5 of ASEAN's free trade partners, Australia, China, Japan, New Zealand, and South Korea. At the session, different representatives from Hluttaw discussed measures relating to the signing in the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership RCEP agreement. Hluttaw representative from Natoji Township advocated participating in Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership RCEP agreement and mentioned his opinion.
RCEP ဟာလက်ရှိအကောင့်ထဲပေါ်လျက်ရှိတဲ့သဘောတူစာချုပ်တွေထက်ပိုမိုပြည့်စုံရည်သွေးမြင့်မားပြီး
The agreement on RCEP has started since 2012 and the agreement preparations are divided into 2 sections for adjusting the descriptions and for enabling the markets. The negotiation for RCEP has taken nearly 7 years, and in 2019, all the descriptions in RCEP agreement were announced with fixed and relevant ones. The sum of 15 RCEP countries represent about 30% of global population and 30% of global economy. The RCEP will become one of the giant trade agreements in the world. Moreover, the agreement also concluded the modernized economic agreements such as electronic trading sectors. It means that RCEP include the updated and modernized descriptions, and we can draw the related and necessary bill and law. While Myanmar is participating in RCEP agreement, the economic bills and law are able to be standardized with global system.
Then, Bharat Singh, Deputy Minister from the Ministry of Investment and Foreign Economic Relations, also described the advocacy for RCEP.
ဒေသတွင်းဘက်စုံစီးပွားရေးပူးပေါင်းဆောင်ရွက်မှုသဘောတူစာချုပ်မှာမြန်မာနိုင်ငံကပါဝင်ရေးထိုးရေးကိစ္စနဲ့ဆက်လျင်းပြီး
We have already explained participation in the RCEP agreement since 29 July. So the approval of Hluttaw is needed to participate in the RCEP agreement can be processed with the permission from Hluttaw Bill number 61A, Table 1 and Section 8. Participating in the agreement on RCEP, we would like to seek the approval for RCEP on the agreement at Hluttaw.
Then, Hluttaw Speaker asked the Hluttaw Representatives whether to agree on participation in approval for RCEP on the agreement. The Hluttaw Representatives agreed to participate and sign in Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership RCEP agreement. ASEAN Secretary Ling Chuk Hwai said that Myanmar will benefit from the ambitious Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership RCEP. Even while Myanmar will not actually sign in 16 Nation Agreement, it would certainly benefit from it indirectly. Myanmar would eventually become a full-blown signatory when its trade infrastructure is more developed.
That's the report on Hluttaw Representatives discuss on sign-in RCEP agreement. Let's move on to the last report for today. Myanmar Railways is in the process of providing the commuters with a smooth and secure rail transport at a time when there has been an increase in the number of the rail passengers in recent years. The COVID-19 outbreak has brought down the number of the rail passengers, but later on the plight of the virus can be almost kept under control. The local passengers taking the trains have increased in number. The number of the passengers taking the express trains is about 2,500 a day. This is a report by Zoemen and Yenai.
Myanmar Railways MR is in the process of providing the commuters with a smooth and secure rail transport at a time when there has been an increase in the number of the rail passengers in recent years. The COVID-19 outbreak has brought down the number of the rail passengers, but later on the plight of the virus can be almost kept under control. The local passengers taking the trains have increased in number. The number of the passengers taking the express trains is about 2,500 a day. In such a time of rainy season, the floods on the railway lines commonly occur because of the torrential rains. The first priority is to ensure the passengers' safety, and so some changes to train schedules have been made. U Tang Thai, Chief Station Master of Yangon Railway Station, said,
The number of current train passengers is 1,700 to 2,500. Despite the substitution of restriction on gathering not more than 5 with that of not more than 15, passengers are traveling on a regular basis. The number of passengers is increasing a little more than the previous. The number of passengers taking Yangon-Mandalay Express train is many, and Yangon-Bago is the same matter as well. The number of passengers taking the train is a little more than that of taking cars. During the outbreak of COVID-19, a highway passenger has to buy 2 seats according to social distancing rule. But an express train passenger doesn't need to buy 2 seats. The number of those taking trains become a little more. On 4th of August, the railway's line Bengsalok station were flooded since 8 a.m. in the morning. For that reason, the train schedule for Yangon-Mandalay number 5 up train that will leave at 3 p.m. was changed into 12 p.m. midnight. For that reason, the train schedule for Yangon-Mandalay number 5 up train that will leave at 3 p.m. was changed into 12 a.m. midnight, and Yangon-Mandalay number 3 up train that will leave at 3:45 p.m. into 12:30 a.m. The night restriction is still effective in Yangon. The passengers are allowed to enter the platform of Yangon railway station 1 hour ahead. It is aimed at passengers to arrive at the station early.
The train schedules had to be changed due to the inconvenient conditions of the weather and the railroad sections. The night restriction was imposed between 12 midnight and 4 a.m. However, prior management has been carried out for enabling the passengers not to face any difficulty. U Aung Tan, a train passenger from Taketa Township, said,
I take only the train, but I don't take the car. For me, the train is okay, and the train is not crowded. It is easy to go to the toilet as well. The car is not okay with me. We have to get off the place where the car stops. The express train ticket price does not hike, and the price is the same as that of the past. Fall or rise in the price is not a problem. Taking train gives me pleasure. For the reason, I take only train. The health instructions and notices can be seen on the train and at the stations.
Myanmar Railways MR gave instructions on the distance of 3 feet apart between the passengers, especially the instructions seen on Yangon Mandalay, Yangon Pye and Yangon Molamyai. In the ordinary class, a passenger has to buy one ticket for 2 seats, and in the upper class, seats are separated according to the social distancing rule. Dobebita, a train passenger from Tinganjong, said,
It is quite far from us to take a car. It is not okay with me. I am an old woman, and so I think taking a train is convenient for me. It is good to take a train, and the train is not very crowded. For these reasons, I take only the train. Currently, I don't travel, and now it's okay for me to take the train. The entrance to the railway station has been renovated. The most important thing is the convenience of the passengers. There are no changes in the train ticket prices.
Myanmar Railways is providing train services for the passengers from the regions and the states. Number 5 and Number 3 UP trains are running for Yangon Mandalay Railroad section, Number 71 UP train on Yangon Pye Railroad section, and Number 89 UP train and Number 81 UP train on Yangon Molamyai Railroad section. RBE trains are in operational for Yangon Ogan and Yangon Bago as well.
That's the report on Myanmar Railways is providing commuters with smooth and secure rail transport. Now to international news. The Lebanese cabinet announced on Wednesday a state of emergency in Beirut for 2 weeks. The death toll from the deadly blast at the capital's port area has climbed to 135, with around 5,000 people wounded and dozens others missing. The number of casualties is expected to rise. World leaders offer support and condolences to the country, including Gulf nations in the region. Israel also has offered humanitarian aid.
عشت الحرب ومرقت بظروف بس ما بحياتي شفت هيك. كتر خير الله اجت الاشياء بالماديات بس I'm wondering قديش رخيص بني ادم بهالبلد ولوين رايحين؟ ما بعرف، يعني بلحظة دمرت بيروت كلها.
All the windows, all the stairs, everything went chaos. It was a nightmare. We felt that for the first time.
أتوجه كذلك بالشكر إلى كل المسؤولين في الدول الشقيقة.
Twitter on Wednesday said it had restricted President Donald Trump's campaign from tweeting for its false claims about the coronavirus in a post, which came hours later that Facebook removed the video post from the page of Trump over harmful COVID-19 misinformation. Both have removed the post containing a video clip of an interview the president gave to Fox News on Wednesday morning. President Trump claimed in the video that children are being almost immune to the virus. Facebook spokesperson Andy Stone and Twitter spokesperson both said the video is a violation of their policies around COVID misinformation. Twitter added that the account owner will be required to remove the tweet before they can tweet again. Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu on Wednesday said the Russian armed forces showed high combat capabilities during a recent snap check held amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Russia held a large-scale snap check of the combat readiness of its southern and western military districts, large troop units and airborne forces, and northern and Pacific fleets on July 17th to July 21st. All participants acted professionally, strictly observing safety requirements, Shoigu said, adding that snap checks will continue in the future. That's all with the news and reports on Myanmar Today. Hope everyone is staying safe.